kung fu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I have another action classic for you in the form of 2010's Red. 2010's Red, starring Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, Helen Mirren, and John Malkovich. This movie is a treat, by the way. I remember when this movie first came out, and I actually went to the theaters to go see this one, and I was unsure about the movie, but I saw a trailer for it, and it fascinated me. The idea of these old retirees being badasses, and honestly, I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. So this movie is fascinating because the movie is based off of a comic book, a miniseries comic book of the same name, Red, published by DC Comics and written by the legendary comic book writer Warren Ellis. Warren Ellis is well known in the comic book writing world as someone who has worked on many things. He's worked with Marvel and DC. He's worked on Moon Knight. He's worked on the Thunderbolts. He's worked on Batman. He's worked on a lot of things. He's been in the business for a long time, and Warren Ellis is a very revered writer. And Red was sort of like his own little thing he did. It was, like I said, it was a 3-issue miniseries. It came out in 2003 to 2004, but it was a popular, but not like, it's sort of in the same vein of like how Watchmen is sort of a Elseworld sort of miniseries that was also published, because DC has a lot of shit like that. Like, I think Umbrella Academy is also like a Vertigo series that was published by DC that's technically DC but not DC, because DC had had multiple separate departments, not undissimilar to Marvel, but regardless of which, I just think that regardless of which, this movie is based off a comic book, and it's one of the many movies that I've done on my channel, like action movies, because I feel like it's interesting to point out, because so many people make such a big deal about the Marvel and the DC and like the superhero of it all, when there has been a plethora of non-superhero related action movies based off of other comic books. I've done Wanted, I've done Kingsman, I've done Kick-Ass, I've done so many comic book that are not connected, and Red is another one of those movies. And the thing that makes Red such a fun movie is it plays with the concept of it plays with the concept that you can't teach experience. Like, experience is something you have to live. It is something you have to live through. And ultimately, no matter how well you're trained, no matter how much shit you go through, no matter how well you're trained, no matter how great you are, how naturally talented you are, experience can overcome all of that, all of those kinds of things. And throughout the course of this movie, we follow Frank Moses, and Frank is played by Bruce Willis, and Frank is a retired. We know Frank is a retiree. He's living in this nice house. He's clearly having a hard time really finding something to do with his life. But then on a random ass day, Frank is attacked by a hit squad. He easily takes them out and escapes. And now Frank has to gather up the allies that he still have and figure out why these guys trying to kill him, and also the backstory. So that's story A. I mean, that's A story. It's figuring out who's trying to kill him and why. But story B is the love story between him and this girl that he recently started talking to, and he's starting to like really make a connection with her, and he really wants to find love, and will this work? Is the chaos of all this going on because he had to kidnap her ass because she was in danger? Like, the romance aspect is so funny, and I have mixed feelings on the romance aspect of the movie, just because she's clearly only into him. Like, just because so much of the reason she's into him, she grows to be into him throughout the course of the movie, sort of revolves around I mean, the fact that they're in love, like the fact that he's a dangerous man. Sarah, her name's Sarah. Like the fact, like half of the reason she's kind of fallen for him is because of his danger. I'm like, are you in love with him or the danger aspect? But regardless of which, in order for Frank to figure this out, he has to recruit his old friends, which include Morgan Freeman, who plays Joe, who's clearly this smooth-talking former badass. He needs to recruit Victoria, played by Helen Mirren, who is gorgeous in this movie, by the way. And also, she is just so elegant and scary at the same time. And Marvin, played by John Malkovich, or AKA Crazy Marvin. And they're all different and unique, but the vibes the fun with this movie, and I think a lot of movies do this well too, is you just have this distinct feeling of the history between all these people. Because whenever they get together, they start kind of referencing past events and talking, like subtly talking about past events. Because a lot of the movie is about what happens to those badasses, right? What happens to the John Wicks and to the, to the Rambos, to whatever badass you want to think action hero badass. What happens to the action hero badass when he doesn't die? When he doesn't die, he doesn't go to jail, he doesn't level up either. What happens when that guy retires? Like, does he have a family and kids and stuff? Most likely not, because living a life like that would hinder anyone to want to even start anything. And I thought that was unique, that all of these people, all these characters, all of them are all badasses. They're all elite in they're all formerly elite in their fields, but yet they're all alone. And it's interesting because Bruce Willis's character throughout the course of the movie is gripping with that. He's like, I don't know how to live any other way, but I don't want to be alone. Now, granted, that's the backdrop. The front drop is, we don't teach these young kids how it's fucking done. And I love the action throughout the course of the movie is well done because everything done is, okay, except for maybe one bit, which is feasible, except for maybe one bit, but it's such a cool bit in the movie, because at a certain point throughout the movie, Marvin is cuckoo. Marvin's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But Marvin's the funny kind of cuckoo because he's crazy, but then he's right all the time. Like, throughout the course of the movie, when you learn more about Marvin, you learn that he was like, he thinks that there's constant surveillance on him. He thinks people are following him and shit, but he happens to be correct. But at a certain point, Marvin thinks that he's being followed by some agent, and he freaks the fuck out. And you're like, whoa, maybe you're wrong. Turns out he was right, and she calls him an old man and shoots a rocket launcher at him, and he shoots the rocket. Point dead blank, right dead center of the rocket, and it blows up in front of her and kills her. And I was just like, okay, that was awesome. Realistic? Maybe not. But so many other aspects of the movie are. So much of what they do, they never do anything too over the top. It is like just knowledge. Like, it is, I've lived through this. Like, even the beginning action sequence when Frank takes out the hit squad, he doesn't do anything too crazy. He understands the layout of his house better than some random fucking hit squad, so he's able to get the drop on them and take them out because he got the drop on them. Like, there's nothing too outrageous that happens in terms of the action. The closest outrageous scene is when he gets out of the car while it's spinning. But once again, you get the feeling he's done that a billion times. So much of the fun of this movie is the history between these characters, because you just wonder, they're this good now. What the fuck were they in the past? It feels like this movie. It feels like the movie really makes you feel like an entire world, badass action universe happened like decades ago, and now this movie just happened. And this movie just takes place at the end of all that, because that's just how that movie makes you feel, with the references and whatnot, and the interplay between all the characters, and you just feel the history between these characters. You just feel the history. These are people who have done this before, who know this. This is a walk in the park. This is nothing new. Like, this is old. This is just old hat to them. And from that aspect, it's a fun movie, because because similar to Taken and similar to John Wick and maybe a couple other movies I might be forgetting, like, this movie makes you wonder, what the hell were these people like when they were younger? Because you get the distinct feeling that Helen Mirren's Victoria was this Black Widow-esque badass when she was younger. You get the feeling like, dude, fucking Moses is this badass right now, but once upon a time he's so badass that his whole file is blacked out and everyone reveres his name. People are scared shitless when he shows up anywhere. Like, they're like, oh shit, it's Moses. Like, you just get the distinct feeling that Morgan Freeman's Joe was this clever, just like almost black James Bond like charming guy who was also dangerous. Like, you feel the history between them, and that is so fun. And Marvin is just a hoot. Every time Marvin opens up his mouth, he is just saying some crazy conspiracy shit, and Malkovich plays him with such manic glee. It's a fun fucking movie. I enjoyed Red. I think it's one of the better action movies of that time. It's one of the last good action movies that Bruce Willis was a part of, and it actually produced a pretty decent sequel. I would give Red... I'd give Red an 8 out of 10. I'd give Red an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a fun time. I think the concepts they were playing with this older people, showing these people how it's done, showing that, you know, no matter what age comes wisdom and comes technique. And you can overcome a lot of things when you know a lot of things. Remember that one. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. Please remember to like and subscribe. And have you seen 2010's Red? Comment below and let me know. Thank you guys again. See you in the next one. Goodbye.
Let's fucking go.